All right, what's up, guys? It's Jamie. Let's make sure I got it right here. It is October 11th. Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. I just dropped the girls off. I'm about to go in and get things done. So, what I wanted to talk about this morning is how information is key, right? Like, as I observe everything and my observations and then my applications, right? Like, first is I observe, I listen. When I was younger, I used to observe and hang out with the wrong people, and then as I've gotten older, I've tried to listen and observe and surround myself with people that are doing the things that I think I want, the positive stuff, the good things I would not be ashamed of, things that I would think would help me, that would move me forward, that would elevate me to be better, that my children go, oh, wow, that's, dad did this. So, I mean, that's my mindset today. So one thing is absolute, is the more information that you have, wherever you get it from, right? Whether it's at college, an online course, whether you have listened to a YouTube channel that provides really good and solid data, right? And the stuff I share is either like an evangelist, like they're things that I've heard and confirmed and I'm sharing, and then you can go and figure this out for yourself. I am not chasing subscribers here. Like, I don't market, I don't do any of that stuff, but the main reason is I do this for friends, family, my kids. My son is now at that age, he'll be 21 this month. I keep saying that, where I think it's vitally important, especially in this climate, things that are happening, that he starts doing the things I didn't do at 20 years old, 21 years old, things I did not know. I had no idea, neither did my dad or my grandfather who raised me. Had no idea about investing and money. None of that was taught to me. Credit, all these things. I'm like, really have that attitude where I'm like, man, you gotta get this now. This will change your whole life over the next 10, 20 years. I'm 100% convinced of that. I don't whatever goes on, if you do these things, these principles, you're going to see better success than I had. Just stumbling in the dark. Ow! Oh, like banging my head against the wall because I couldn't see. And even if somebody told me, I wasn't listening, I wasn't paying attention. So Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan Chase, you can Google it, and just did a recent interview where he said the recession is, if it's not here, it's coming for sure, because he sees all that stuff, right? Like, here's a guy, here's a company that he's in charge of that provides credit, sees the money, right? And I was listening to Larry Jones earlier, and he was like, he has the receipts, and I was like, man, that's right? It's not speculation. So that's his business. We use them in our business, in our auto group, where we use that bank as one of our lenders. People are going to keep buying food, people are going to rent or have a mortgage, and transportation will continue. People need to have a vehicle to go do what they need to do. I mean, it's almost impossible, depending where you live, not to have some type of vehicle, some type of transportation. And for us, the data is, we get people's names, numbers, emails, right? Text is a big thing now. Their social media, and we can find out all the information, if they're willing to provide it, right? About a person, if they have dogs, if they're a pet lover, do they have children? Is there a family? What cars have they had? If people provide information like, here's my credit, please tell me what I qualify for. I have money down, no money down, I have a trade. Like, the more information we gather in our business, the better we're able to put something together for the customer, a deal that makes sense for them and for us. And don't get it wrong, like, we're not doing this for free, right? Nobody is, and if they say they are, they're lying. But a customer will say, okay, I can afford $300. I'm just giving you an example, $300 a month. If it's a payment or a lease, or if they're writing a check, I have this much money to allocate towards a purchase, whether it's all the money they have in the world or what they've set aside for a vehicle. And the dealer, whoever the dealer is, or a private dealer, it's an independent or a big dealer like we are, will basically say, okay, this is what they're looking for. You get together, you work it out, you show them the vehicle, the truck, SUV, the van, the sedan, the electric vehicle, the pickup truck, whatever it might be, and then the person will then decide if they want to purchase or lease the car. So it's the same thing when you go to the grocery store. You don't go in there and load up your carriage if you only have $200 to spend. You say, okay, I need milk and bread and eggs and whatever, whatever you're buying. You can't just go in there and load up the carriage because you're going to not have enough money to pay at the register. If you want to live in a luxury apartment that costs $5,000 a month and you can't afford it, you're not going to sign a lease for that. So the data that you have, the data that you look at, starting with your budget, and knowing like, this is how much I have coming in, this is how much I got going out, here's my excess, how do I distribute it, what do I do with it? The Jamie Dimon stuff is just yet another thing for me to say, hey, I keep talking about this. Regardless of the things I have going on, like I'm trying to get the Robinhood account. I've been trying, that's what I started this all about, was let me get it to 100,000. I may not get there before the year end. It doesn't mean I won't do it and I'll give up because there's some things out of my control, but you got to re-strategize. You have to say, okay, this ain't working right now, doing it this way. I'm going to have to switch. I have to go to a detour and go a different route. It doesn't mean that it's broken. It means that it's going a different direction. For the most part, things are going down and they keep leveling down. Even if there's little rises, little peaks, it's still, the channel is going down. So, if this happens for 12 to 24 months, or, I think Jamie Dimon said 300 days in that interview. He was saying that a typical playbook recession is 300 days. So it could be a little longer, a little shorter. So you figure a year, and wherever the starting point is, you figure that's what Mohammed El-Iran was saying. So a lot of the things that are going to happen in the cashing up option is, if you have the information, there's no excuse for you not to take advantage of this, whether you're 60 or 50 or 20 years old or anywhere in between or a little bit older. The opportunity is there for you. So I am trying to maximize my credit, meaning I want to have a very high credit limit and a very low debt, because that looks good if I need it to make other purchases. I don't want to have encumbrances. I have an encumbrance on one of the properties we own, that I have some money trapped in that house that I want to pull out to do some other stuff. And I have to get these encumbrances. It's for example, I have a sewer that a tie-in, and there was a septic tank. So the engineer has to do what's called a as built, or it has to be completed properly to the town. And you have to have an engineering response for them to clear it. Otherwise, it hinders me from doing other stuff. So I'm trying to clear all my encumbrances on real estate, on credit, on cash tied up somewhere where I'm like, I don't want to have that cash tied up there. I want to be ready to strike when the opportunities come up. And in the meantime, over the next 12 months, let's say, I will look at companies as far as the stock stuff goes, stocks and cryptos, right, which is segmented. I'm like, okay, I am going to just keep buying in with what I can afford, with what I want to allocate towards that, because I'm going to put the money somewhere. If I'm not investing in another business or taking care of my household, then where is it going? Is it going into your 401k, Roth IRA? Is it going into crypto? Is it going into investing in general in companies? When I say investing in companies, I mean like, what is that? Boxable, right? I'm not promoting this company, but here's a company that has a $1 billion production facility that is building tiny houses, that is supposed to solve, some housing crisis stuff where they can ship these houses, and I think their average price is $50,000. So that is something they raise money, and that's something I think is a potentially a good purchase, to buy some private shares, which is what they're offering before they go public, or you could buy it when it goes public. Miso Robotics is another one where they were developing these robots to work in the fast food business. There's another one. Where did I see this other one that just came out? It was there's so many different companies that are out, like Shark Tank, right? Like the guys like Kevin O'Leary and Mark Cuban listen to the pitch of a product or service, and they're like, I like it. I want this much percentage. I'll give you this much money. I want this much percentage. And that's how it works. That's how the whole show is, right? So people come in with products and services, and the investors front the money. They're investing in businesses and ownership of the companies. So you don't need to be Mark Cuban, a billionaire, or Kevin O'Leary worth hundreds of millions of dollars to make little moves, right? Because you still gotta put this. Where's my dollar? I have it somewhere. You still gotta put that dollar to work for you somewhere, besides just sitting in your pocket. Here it is. Doing nothing. I carry this buck around because to me it's like just symbolic. Oh, I just ripped it. It's symbolic to it's just paper, right? And it's worth not much with one. I need thousands or millions of these to really move, like to gain momentum. I'm gonna end with this. My daughter, who is 7, he's my little peanut, always wants to help me. She's so helpful. She's of all the kids, she's the one that has the most ambition, right? To say, I want to clean, Daddy. I want to help you with the yard. I want to, help you do dishes. She's just, I don't know, like she's just got that personality. So the other day, I think I mentioned my wife bought this grill, this Weber grill, nice grill, and that she got it from somebody and that wanted to get. Anyway, so it's a brand new Weber grill. It's almost 300 pounds. I managed to get it out of the truck. My friend didn't show up to help me, and I got it out of the truck and able to push it into the garage so I could deal with it later. So I was doing something yesterday, and my daughter says, "Daddy, watch out. I want to move it," because I was trying to get it out of the way. And so I said, "Go ahead." And she had all her energy. She's pushing her little face. It was far, and she's trying to get it, and she's adorable, right? But she couldn't move it. She wasn't able to move the box, no matter how good her intentions were and how much she wanted to help me. I admire her ambition and the action, like to do it. But the reality is she hasn't built up enough strength. She doesn't have enough weight to do it. I couldn't pick the box up, but I'm heavy enough and strong enough to move the box, and slide it against the wall. And I did it pretty easily. She's like, "Wow, Daddy, you're so strong," right? It made me feel like I was, but I'm not, right? She said, "You're stronger than the Rock, Dad." I'm like, "No, I'm not stronger than the Rock," but the thing is, it's the same thing with the credit you build and the money that you have, right? And I know that you maybe don't absolutely need money to do things, because you don't, right? I think the relationships, the network are as important or more important. But having the credibility and having the money, even if you only have $1,000, $10,000, if your credit is good, if you manage your money well, you're not overdrawn. If you look at the balance sheets and you're able to show it, they'd say, "Hey, with what this person has, they manage it very well. They just haven't scaled yet." Versus your track record is you're overdrawn, your credit is, and I've done these things, so I'm not talking down to anybody, but if you're overdrawn in your checking account or in your savings, if your credit is shot, I've never claimed bankruptcy, but like if you have charge-offs and repos and things these things that show up are going to hurt you. You know what I mean? If you have $1 million liquid, I mean, maybe that would be kind of override that, but it's all relevant. Okay, so if you can manage small things, and small things to us, for someone else, if you manage $10 million, to them, that's nothing. I mean, they do transactions for hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars. So I just try to manage what is in my space, and relevant to my little daughter pushing that box is I want to have as much strength as I can to move the needle, to be able to have the weight to make it happen. And the only way you're going to do that over this next year is, that's what to me is cashing up means to me, is like saying, okay, I am investing some money, right, during this time frame. I'm going to make sure that my priorities are I meet my expenses, my necessities, and then have some buying power on hand, again, with whatever it is. And if nothing else, get your portfolio. If your portfolio is $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, whatever that number is, get it to be as attractive as it can be. Make it look spotless. The further the bad stuff gets away, people won't remember that. You know, if you said that happened a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, look what I'm doing now consistently. That's how credit is built. You know, like if you have a bad piece of credit, the only way to get away from that is not just to let it get further away. You got to have something else reporting that's positive, you know, that's consistent, because that will start to, it's like a dirty glass, you know, like I have coffee in this 7-Eleven coffee. If I just keep pouring clean water into this, it'll overflow and the coffee will eventually filter out and it'll just be water, right? There might be some remnants, you know, of coffee, but for the most part, it would be clean water. You never know there was any coffee in there. So if you have some credit lines, you know, then get the information, get the data that is going to help you to clean that up, and then figure out what is the best place where to put your money over these next 12 months. Okay. So I guess that's it. That's the theme of my morning again. The evangelism that I'm sharing is, let's really focus on that. Let's keep paying attention to this stuff that's happening, so that we can win in 2023, regardless of what's happening. You know, and there's things that are out of your control. Okay. So have a great Tuesday, guys. That's long enough. I'll see you next time. Have a good Tuesday. Bye.